Hi there. This is H. Victoria Hager Atkerson. I'm an author and a writer, and I would like to talk a little bit about character identification, which is different from character development, because I've talked to several people, beginners basically, who are writing, and they get kind of confused about when they can write in their own feelings and when they can write in their own values with their characters. This is a great area for discussion because I think it comes up a lot, especially with beginners. Um, it's very important that you know your characters, number one. And I think if you develop your characters, which is writing out everything about your characters, all the backstories about their history, where they came from, the motivation for existing in the first place. If you know all of that beforehand, I think you won't have the problem of figuring out when your personality overlaps your character's personality because it'll be clear. And the other area I want you to really give some thought to is that your character is a standalone, independent creature that you created. You don't necessarily have to have the same value system. And a matter of fact, it's probably healthy or more creative and more growth producing if you don't, because your character should stand apart from you and they should have their own personality. It should come from their own value system. That's why it is a great idea to always, always, always write that character study out completely. That way you don't have the dilemma. There's no sense in writing about somebody you don't know. And then say, one of the things that came, statements that I heard the other day was, my character was doing things I would never do. So I cut that out of my writing. Well, if that character was who you developed her or him to be, and they did something ethically that you would not approve of, I think that's okay. I mean, that's where you want to go because you're looking at behaviors, at human behaviors, and that's what we do. We write about human behavior. So it is healthy for that character not to portray your value system because they have to have a value system of their own. If you're creating a world that these characters live in, then they have to have their own beliefs. They have to have their own system where they reach their own conclusions or they operate their behavior in a certain way, which is very different, vastly different from you. You created the character doesn't mean that character has to be perfect and like you, just as the creator made all of us. We are not in his image. We do not live up to his standards or her standards. I like to think that the creator is a woman because only women give birth. It's my own theory. So anyway, it's very important that you look at your characters as who they are, not necessarily who you are. They do not have to have your belief system. They do not have to do what you do. So it is appropriate and it's a great idea that you just write out who they are and use that character study. Like I said, write it out completely. You should know everything about that character before you start writing about it. You can't write about something you don't know. So that means you have to go back, do that character study. Who is this person? Is this person a person who has moral issues? Is this a person who is a criminal, a murderer, or just a crazy person? I mean, it's okay either way, but you need to write from that character's perspective, not your own. So think about that when you're writing, and it's mainly the idea and the hope of every writer to create something that's new and different and outside of himself. You can own it. And as we talked about in editing, one of the things you want to do is remove yourself emotionally from these creatures. You are not your characters, and they can't be you. So it's quite appropriate for them to act out of character as far as your value system is concerned. As a matter of fact, sometimes it's almost necessary. So take a breath of air, write from your heart, go back to it after a few days, 3 days, a month, and then come back and see if that character stands up in his own right. Does he have his own belief system? Is he operating on his own, independent of you? See if this character can stand up to the world and say who they are in their behavior. And see if this is something you really want to keep in there. It's okay to eliminate characters who don't make sense. You know, this is the one place where you can kill people off and get away with it. So enjoy the writing process. Now, just want to remind you, I have a new book out. It's called Enslaved, and I hope you pick this up. I enjoyed this process here of writing. And believe me, some of the issues that we just brought up about you are not your characters in slavery, in writing about slavery, there were many that I did not, I could not agree with or identify with in the way they carried out their jobs as slavers. Of course, they are going to be different from me. And of course, their value system is going to be different from mine because of the circumstances. And that's okay. So what you want to do is to make sure you carry out the goals that you set when you started writing about a particular situation or a particular character, okay? So it's been fun again. This is really great. I enjoy this. Now, be sure to like my channel and push that red subscribe button. I need you to do that. It doesn't cost you a dime. It's free. So do me a favor and push that button and enjoy your life. Enjoy writing. All you wonderful writers out there, enjoy it. It's wonderful. It's a great job, one of the best. Love to you.